same salary, same investment returns. One person retires more than 20 years earlier than the other. The only difference between them is a single number, and it isn't how much they earn. If you're chasing the next raise to retire sooner, you may be pulling the weaker lever. Your salary alone doesn't set your retirement date. Your savings rate often matters more, and right now you're sitting somewhere on a curve most people have never seen drawn. I'm Amy. I ran the full savings rate curve myself, every rate from 10% to 70%, to find where the years actually disappear. First, I'll show why saving more works twice. It grows your portfolio faster and shrinks the number you need to hit. Then, the assumptions that can quietly make these headline figures wrong for your situation. By the end, you'll know how to find your own spot on the curve. And here's the part that surprised me. The biggest jump in years saved doesn't happen at a 50% savings rate. It happens much earlier. I'll show you exactly where. Here's the full curve. Years to financial independence at savings rates from 10 to 70%, assuming a 5% return after inflation and a retirement target of 25 times your annual spending. Start on the left. At a 10% savings rate, the timeline runs past 50 years. At 20%, it's already below 37. At 50, under 17. Same returns, same assumptions all the way across. The only thing changing is the rate. Now notice what's missing from the bottom axis. There's no dollar figure for income anywhere. That's not a simplification I made to be tidy. It's the result. Under these assumptions, someone taking home $50,000 and someone taking home $500,000 reach financial independence in the same number of years, as long as they save the same percentage and plan to live on the same share of their income. The dollar amounts are wildly different. The number of years is identical. Income sets the size of your lifestyle. Your savings rate sets how fast you can fund it. And that's only the first strange thing hiding in this curve. Here's why the rate is so powerful. It moves two numbers at once. Saving more adds to your portfolio, but spending less also shrinks the portfolio you need in the first place. At a 4% withdrawal rate, every single dollar of recurring annual spending requires about $25 of invested assets to support it. So a permanent $100 a month expense doesn't cost you $1,200 a year. It adds roughly $30,000 to the portfolio you need to retire. $300 a month adds $90,000. $500 a month, $150,000. This isn't about your coffee, it's about the permanent decisions, the bigger car payment, the housing upgrade, the stack of subscriptions that quietly became part of your baseline. When you take one of those off the board, you're not just freeing up cash to invest, you're moving the finish line itself closer. That's the double lever, and it's why the line bends so hard. Let's make that concrete with two people who earn exactly the same. Both take home $100,000. The first saves 10%. $10,000 a year and lives on 90. At 25 times spending, their target is about $2.25 million. The second saves 50%, lives on 50, and needs $1.25 million. So the second person is investing 5 times as much each year, while chasing a finish line that's a full $1 million closer. That's why their timelines aren't a little different. One is past 50 years, the other is under 17. Saving more, working in both directions at once. So should you sprint for 50%? Hold that thought, because the curve says something more forgiving. The benefits of saving more are not spread evenly, not even close. Each bar is the years you cut by raising your savings rate another 10 points. 10 to 20% removes about 15 years, 20 to 30 about 9, 30 to 40 about 6, 40 to 50 only about 5. Here's the comparison that surprised me most. Moving from 10% to 20 buys back almost as many years as moving from 30% all the way to 60. One 10-point step at the bottom does the work of a 30-point climb in the middle. In fact, that first 10-point move captures more than 40% of the entire time you'd save going from 10% to 50. That should change your goal. You don't need to become an extreme saver. The biggest prize on this whole chart is escaping a single-digit savings rate, and that's a move most households can actually make. But there's a force working in the opposite direction, and most people walk straight into it. This is why earning more doesn't automatically get you there. Picture this. You take home $100,000, save $20,000, spend $80,000. That's a 20% savings rate. And this model puts you about 37 years from financial independence. Then you get a $20,000 raise. Good news. But your savings stays at $20,000. The extra income becomes a nicer place, a newer car, a little more travel. Now you take home $120,000 and spend $100,000. Your savings rate has quietly dropped to about 17%. Watch the finish line move the wrong way. Under the same model, your timeline stretches from about 37 years to about 41. The raise made you richer and pushed financial independence almost 4 years farther away. That's the trap, and it deserves a name. I call it the Raise Mirage. The raise itself didn't cause the delay. Spending all of it did, because it grew the lifestyle your portfolio has to fund without growing the money funding it. Income only moves your date when it widens the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Before you redraw your whole plan, the clean curve leaves things out, and honesty matters here. It assumes you start from zero, so any portfolio you already have pulls your real timeline in. It ignores taxes, which push it back out. It leaves out Social Security and pensions, and it uses a steady 5% real return when actual markets arrive in a lumpy sequence you don't control. Treat the curve as a map of the terrain, not a GPS reading of your exact spot. The shape is the lesson, the precise year is personal. So where are most people actually standing on this curve? As of early 2026, the typical American saves about 2.5% of their take-home pay, against a long-run average near 7%. In other words, most households are parked at the flat, slow left end of the curve. That sounds like bad news. It's the opposite. It means most people are sitting exactly where a single 10-point move buys back the most years of their life. So here's your number. Take your monthly take-home and the amount you actually invest and divide. Take home 6,000, save 600, you're at 10%. Push that to 1,200 and you don't just double your savings. On this curve, you cut roughly 15 years off your timeline. Most people think the question is, how do I earn more to retire sooner? The better question is, what's my savings rate? And how do I move it up 10 points? Because that's the lever that bends the curve. 3 things to take with you. 1, calculate your real savings rate this week. Invest it over take home. 2, if you're in single digits, make the climb to 20% your highest value financial goal this year. 3, on your next raise, move your savings rate before your spending catches it. That's how you beat the Raise Mirage. Tell me in the comments which version you want me to run next, with taxes included, with an existing portfolio, or with Social Security factored in. This is general information, not personal financial advice. Your numbers are yours, but now you know which one to watch.